Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm Buddy Fry, and let's queer up healthcare. House passes bill banning all trans health care by Obamacare, Medicaid, and CHIP. The U.S. House of Representatives has passed a sweeping and controversial bill that could dramatically reshape American healthcare and directly target the transgender community. After more than 24 hours of debate, the bill passed by a razor-thin margin of 215 to 214. Falsely nicknamed the Big Beautiful Bill by its supporters, the legislation is expected to add $2.4 trillion with a T to the national debt by increasing spending and cutting taxes. But much of its financing will come from deep cuts to federal health care programs, including a full ban on gender-affirming care for transgender people under Obamacare, Medicaid, and CHIP. This amendment removed the words minor, extending the ban to all transgender Americans. Under this bill, no Medicaid or CHIP funds can be used for gender-affirming care such as puberty blockers, hormone therapy, or surgery for anyone regardless of their age. And insurance plans sold on the Affordable Care Act exchanges, as well as those tied to the same coverage standards, will also be prohibited from covering gender transition procedures. This could be devastating for the estimated 152,000 transgender people who rely on Medicaid, particularly since fewer than half live in states that provide gender-affirming coverage. Mark Takano, an out gay Democrat from California, reacted to this bill saying, quote, "But that doesn't matter to Republicans in Congress. They need those cuts to pay for their billionaire buddies' tax cuts. Attacks on the trans community are just the cherry on top of them." End quote. The bill also slashes $500 billion from Medicare and removes Medicaid coverage for 8.7 million Americans. Democrats have unanimously opposed the legislation, joined by just 2 Republicans. The bill now heads to the Senate, where Republicans plan to use the reconciliation process to bypass a filibuster. With 53 Republican senators, its passage remains highly possible. And if it reaches the president's desk, he is expected to sign it, of course. I'm just stunned because we've worked so hard to try and get health care to as many people as possible in this country at affordable and fair rates and opportunities. Because health care keeps people alive and it reduces health care costs for future.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And here we go and just decimate it.
A lot of their other legislation that they have tried to pass, it's been so vague, like, so not gender blockers, but hormone blockers. Aren't there other reasons that youth need to have hormone blockers? Sometimes it's other medical things going on.
Right.
So now we're saying it's probably going to have a general term. So no matter what's going on, they're going to not be allowed to have that, although it may be medically necessary for other reasons than transitioning.
Well, and you know, there's a denial that there are people who are intersex.
Right.
And they may present one way or the other. Who are they to make these decisions?
Right.
Everybody who's a citizen is entitled to the care that everyone else gets under these programs. You know, it's not that somebody's...
And their attempt for 152,000 people has grown to 8.7 million people.
Yes.
Most of which are probably in very red states with very little opportunity, with a lot of unemployment and poverty and needs.
It's just crazy to think that going after the most smallest, most marginalized, most like out of everyone you can pick on, you pick the most already attacked and underserved community, and that's where you're going to go. It's just, it's complete insanity, and it's definitely disheartening. But we're becoming used to it, unfortunately.
But we can't.
Not desensitized, but it's a fact. Every day now, it's a new thing that we're seeing. But
keeps coming to
right.
No, we can't be complacent.
No, exactly.
Great word. Well, that is a big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing queer news tonight.